Love is not found. It awakens when we awaken within ourselves. Most relationships fail not from lack of love, but lack of awareness. Until we confront our own shadows, we cannot truly connect with another. Love isn't found, it's remembered. Explore the psychology of attachment, the metaphysics of connection, and how true intimacy begins with self-awareness. Learn to love without losing yourself. Why is it that in an age of instant connection, our hearts feel more disconnected than ever? We have endless access to people, yet so little access to presence. We can swipe through thousands of faces, but struggle to truly face ourselves. Perhaps the failure of modern relationships is not a failure of love, but a failure of consciousness. A failure to see that love was never meant to complete us, but to awaken us. Once upon a time, before dating apps and dopamine hits, love was considered sacred. It was not something you found, it was something you became. It was not the fireworks of attraction, but the slow alchemy of two souls meeting in truth. But now we confuse intensity with intimacy, chemistry with compatibility, and validation with value. We chase the spark instead of tending the flame. We've turned the art of love into the economics of attention. Picture this: two people standing in front of each other, both carrying invisible histories. Each heart a cathedral of old echoes, childhood wounds, ancestral imprints, forgotten promises. They say, "I love you," but beneath the words is a silent question. Will you heal what I have not yet faced? And when the other cannot, we call it heartbreak. But heartbreak is not punishment, it's initiation. It cracks open the shell of the ego, revealing what love was truly trying to teach. Love is not found in another. Love is revealed through another. If we are to build conscious love, love that lasts, love that elevates, we must first awaken to this truth. Every relationship we enter mirrors the one we have with ourselves. Your partner will not just meet your light, they will meet your shadow. They will reflect back every place where you have forgotten your wholeness. And that reflection, as uncomfortable as it may be, is the gateway to conscious growth. This is why modern relationships often collapse. Because most people enter love as consumers, not creators. They seek emotional comfort, not spiritual expansion. They want someone to fill the void rather than help them face it. But love, true love, is not comfort. It is a sacred fire. It burns away illusion until only truth remains.
The paradox of modern romance is this: we crave depth, but fear diving. We speak of soulmates, yet rarely meet our own soul. We say we want authenticity, yet filter our every moment. We are overexposed but underexpressed. We confuse communication with connection, talking endlessly, yet listening so little. And in the silence we avoid, the truth quietly waits. Imagine love as an ancient temple. At its entrance are two statues, one carved from vulnerability, the other from courage. To enter, you must bow to both, because conscious love is not built by perfect people, but by awake people, those who are willing to see, feel, and grow. When you meet someone who mirrors your deepest truth, it will not always feel like comfort. It may feel like recognition, sudden, raw, electric, because your soul remembers something your mind has long forgotten. That love is not a possession. It is a process, a sacred remembering of what you already are. So let's begin this journey, not as critics of modern love, but as alchemists of it. Let's understand why relationships collapse, why attraction fades, why so many unions end not in betrayal, but in spiritual stagnation. And then, let's rise beyond it. Let's learn how to build a love that is awake, a love that breathes consciousness into every conversation, every argument, every touch. Because conscious love is not luck. It is a skill. It is the art of meeting another without losing yourself. It is the courage to stay open when your wounds beg you to close. It is the commitment to truth over comfort. And in that space, two people no longer orbit around fear, but around growth. When we say modern relationships fail, we are really saying we have forgotten the sacred architecture of love. We have built skyscrapers without foundations, connections without consciousness, and passion without purpose. But this is not the end. It is the call to evolution, to return to the essence of love, not as a fairy tale, but as a spiritual discipline. And perhaps it all begins here, with a whisper in your own heart. What if love was never meant to make me happy, but to make me whole? This is the conversation we are about to have, a dialogue between the human and the divine within you, between your longing and your truth, between the part of you that seeks love and the part that is love. So take a breath, let go of what you think you know, and step into this exploration, not just of relationships, but of consciousness itself. Because when love awakens, the entire universe rearranges itself around your frequency, and what once felt like chaos becomes coherence. What once felt like heartbreak becomes initiation, and what once felt like ending becomes a beginning.
Every relationship, no matter how fleeting or eternal, is a classroom for consciousness. And the first lesson of love is this: you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. Your vibration, your beliefs, your emotional patterns, your self-concept is the invisible architect behind every person who walks into your life. This is why modern relationships often repeat the same pain in different faces. Until awareness interrupts the pattern, we keep dating our own unconscious wounds. Let's get practical. When you fall in love, your brain releases a cascade of chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, the same cocktail that fires during addiction. That's why early-stage love feels euphoric. You're not just falling for the person, you're high on your own projections. But chemistry alone is not compatibility. And when the high fades, the truth begins. The question becomes, can we stay when the illusion dissolves? Can we meet reality without running back to fantasy? In the unseen layers of human connection, there are forces far deeper than biology. When two souls meet, it's not random, it's resonance. Like tuning forks, we vibrate in harmony with those who echo our current level of consciousness. Some come as mirrors to reflect our wounds. Others arrive as catalysts to awaken our potential. Every lover is either a mirror or a messenger, sometimes both. This brings us to the first great illusion of modern love, the illusion of completion. We've been taught that love will fix the emptiness inside, that somewhere out there is a perfect half waiting to make us whole. But that myth breeds dependency, not devotion. True love is not two halves becoming one. It is two wholes walking side by side, celebrating shared wholeness. Anything less becomes spiritual codependence, a dance between two wounds instead of two souls. We try to manage love the way we manage our careers, our finances, our goals, with strategies, expectations, timelines. But love is not a business plan. It's an organism, alive, evolving, unpredictable.
You cannot control love. You can only cultivate it. And cultivation requires surrender. Surrender to truth, to change, to the vulnerability of not knowing. There is a wisdom that whispers beneath all sacred texts. From the Taoist flow of yin and yang, to the Vedic dance of Shiva and Shakti, to the Hermetic principle of polarity. They all say the same thing. Love is the meeting of opposites, masculine and feminine, stillness and motion, reason and intuition. In the balance of duality, consciousness expands. When these energies are imbalanced, when power replaces presence or fear replaces trust, love collapses into struggle. And yet even that struggle is sacred. It is the friction that polishes the mirror of the soul. The third illusion is expectation without evolution. We demand timeless love without doing timeless work. We want sacred connection without self-reflection. But every conscious relationship requires three parallel evolutions: your evolution, their evolution, and the evolution of the us. When even one stops growing, the relationship begins to suffocate. Love is a living field. It breathes in truth and dies in stagnation. So if love mirrors our consciousness, how do we raise it? Through awareness, through emotional responsibility, through practices that unite psychology and spirituality. In modern psychology, this is called attachment healing, learning to feel safe within connection without losing autonomy. In ancient mysticism, it's known as inner union, harmonizing the divine masculine and feminine within. Both point to the same truth. Until you can hold your own heart, you cannot hold another's. Think of your heart as an ocean. Each wave is an emotion, rising, falling, disappearing. If you fight the tide, you drown. If you ride it, you learn the rhythm of life. Love, too, is tidal. It comes and goes, expands and contracts. And conscious love does not resist that movement. It flows with it.
From a higher lens, relationships are not meant to make us happy. They are meant to make us aware. They are the crucible where our shadows meet the light, where the ego's masks melt under the heat of intimacy. Modern love fails not because people are bad at love, but because they have been trained to avoid themselves. They outsource what can only be cultivated within. And so the journey toward conscious love begins not with finding the right person, but with becoming the kind of person who can sustain truth. That means emotional literacy, being able to name and navigate what you feel. That means radical honesty, speaking your truth even when it trembles. That means discipline, the kind that protects passion with purpose. And above all, that means presence, because presence is the oxygen of love. Across every philosophy, from Zen to Stoicism to Sufism, the message repeats: to know love, you must know yourself. To know yourself, you must face your own silence. And in that silence, you realize love was never outside you. It has always been the field in which all things arise. Modern relationships fail because we treat love as an emotion to feel instead of a consciousness to embody. But conscious love, real love, is the bridge between the human and the divine. It asks for humility, curiosity, and the courage to see beyond illusion. So let's walk further, beyond illusion, beyond expectation, beyond control, into the deeper symbolic narratives of love, where myth and mirror meet, and where every story of heartbreak becomes a story of awakening.
Let me tell you a story. There was once an alchemist who sought the secret of eternal love. He traveled across deserts, studied the stars, and melted metals in the fire of his laboratory, believing that if he could turn lead into gold, he could turn loneliness into union. But after years of searching,
He realized that every metal he purified was merely a mirror of his own soul. The lead he melted was his fear. The gold he discovered, his capacity to love beyond illusion. He finally understood the great work of alchemy was never about transmuting matter, but transmuting consciousness. Love is the ultimate alchemical fire. It burns the false to reveal the true. Every relationship is an alchemical container. When two souls meet, something begins to heat. Old wounds rise, forgotten patterns surface, and the ego begins to tremble. This is not dysfunction, it is transformation. The friction between two human beings becomes the fire that purifies the soul. Just as the alchemist could not make gold without fire, we cannot create conscious love without facing our own darkness. The fire is uncomfortable, but sacred. It's how the soul remembers its radiance. In practical terms, that fire looks like conflict. It looks like misunderstanding, vulnerability, and the temptation to run. But those moments are the testing grounds of consciousness. When triggered, you have a choice: react from your past or respond from your presence. Reacting continues the cycle. Responding breaks it. That is the moment when love evolves from emotion to awareness, from need to creation, from ego to essence. There's another story of a dreamer who kept searching for the one. Every night they dreamt of a perfect face, glowing eyes, endless compassion. But each morning, the face would vanish. So the dreamer went on a pilgrimage to find that face in the world. They met countless lovers, all beautiful, all flawed, but none matched the perfection of the dream. One evening, sitting by a mirror, the dreamer saw something strange. In the reflection, behind their own eyes, was the face they had sought. The realization struck like lightning. I have been chasing my own unclaimed divinity. The dreamer wept not out of sadness, but recognition. They had found the one, but it wasn't another person. It was the consciousness within that had always been waiting to be loved. This is the mystical paradox of love. You can only meet another to the depth you have met yourself. Every relationship is a mirror, not a mirror of beauty, but of truth. And the purpose of that mirror is not to flatter you, but to free you. Modern relationships fail because we break the mirror instead of reading the message. We blame, ghost, withdraw, instead of listening to what the soul is trying to reveal. To love consciously, you must become a student of your own reflection. Ask, what is this connection showing me about my patterns, my fears, my projections? How do I behave when I feel unseen, unloved, unsafe? Am I expecting my partner to do the inner work that is mine to do? When you begin asking those questions, love transforms. It becomes a dojo for emotional mastery. Every disagreement becomes a mirror exercise. Every apology becomes alchemy. In the language of myth, the soul's journey through love is a hero's journey. The meeting, that's the call to adventure. The falling, the crossing of the threshold. The heartbreak, the dark night of the soul. And the awakening, the return home with the elixir of wisdom.
We meet others not to lose ourselves, but to find ourselves anew. Every ending is a beginning disguised. Every heartbreak is a door to higher love. And what is that higher love? It is not passion without purpose. It is not peace without truth. It is the harmony of two awakened beings who see each other as sacred mirrors. Who can say, I do not need you to complete me. I choose you to grow with me. Such love transcends transaction. It becomes a temple where both can worship the divine through each other's evolution. Let's bring this down to earth. In every relationship, there are three forces: connection, challenge, and consciousness. Connection brings you together. Challenge refines you. Consciousness sustains you. When you have only connection, the relationship feels sweet but shallow. When you have only challenge, it feels intense but unstable. But when you bring consciousness, awareness, reflection, growth, love becomes a living practice. The alchemist, the dreamer, the lover, they are all within you. Each carries a key to the same door: the realization that love is not a destination, but a frequency. And the more you embody that frequency, the more your external relationships will mirror it. You will begin to attract partners, friends, communities that resonate with your growth, not your wounds. Because the universe does not send you who you want, it sends you who you are ready for. And readiness is not about perfection, it's about willingness. The willingness to see, to feel, to stay, to evolve. That is the path of conscious love, the path that turns the ordinary into the sacred. So when you look into the eyes of another, remember, you are not just seeing a person, you are seeing your reflection in human form. And when you love them consciously, you are loving the universe back into balance.
So how do we bring all of this down to earth? How do we translate cosmic insight into practical love, the kind that can survive Mondays, misunderstandings, and modern life? Conscious love is not a theory. It's a daily practice, a sequence of micro choices that shape the emotional architecture of your life. It begins not in moments of passion, but in moments of presence. Presence when your partner speaks. Presence when your fear rises. Presence when you want to close, but choose to open instead. Let's explore how this sacred awareness moves through the 12 dimensions of conscious living, the framework that transforms theory into embodiment. Health and fitness, the body as temple. A conscious relationship begins with the body, for the body is the vessel of love's expression. When you treat your body as sacred, you raise the frequency of every interaction. Movement, rest, nourishment, these are not separate from love. A tired nervous system cannot hold deep connection. Sleep, nutrition, and breath become spiritual practices when done with intention. Ask yourself, am I cultivating the vitality required to love well? Emotional life, the art of regulation. Love fails when emotion rules without awareness. It thrives when emotion is honored and guided. Learn to pause before reacting. Feel your feelings. Don't weaponize them. One simple practice: when triggered, place a hand on your heart and name what's alive. Anger, fear, shame. Naming disarms the ego. It allows you to respond rather than repeat. Intellectual life, from logic to understanding. The mind is both ally and saboteur. It builds walls of stories and assumptions. But when disciplined, it becomes the architect of clarity. Study relationships. Learn psychology, communication, attachment theory. Intelligence without awareness becomes manipulation. Awareness without knowledge becomes confusion. Marry both. Character. Integrity as the backbone of love. Integrity is doing what aligns with truth, even when no one sees. In relationships, integrity means
I speak honestly. I act consistently. I repair when I harm. Without integrity, love is theater. With it, love becomes trust embodied. Trust isn't declared, it's demonstrated again and again.
Spirituality, remembering the divine in the ordinary. When you gaze at your partner, see beyond their face. See the fragment of the divine exploring itself through human form. Let your relationship become a meditation, a living prayer where every conflict is a chance to return to truth. This is conscious love, to remember the soul in the moment of irritation, to choose reverence over reaction. Love and relationships, building the sacred container. Practical tools anchor sacred theory. Try this. Establish weekly check-ins, not to fix, but to listen. Ask 3 questions. What felt good between us this week? Where did we disconnect? How can we support each other better? These conversations prevent resentment and build emotional safety, the soil of deep love. Safety does not kill passion, it gives it roots. Only when we feel safe enough to be real can desire expand authentically. Parenting and legacy, passing consciousness forward. The love we model teaches more than any lesson we preach. Children learn relationships not from our words, but our energy. If they witness repair, authenticity, and respect, they inherit emotional intelligence as their birthright. Legacy is not about leaving wealth, it's about leaving wisdom. Let your family lineage evolve through your awareness. Social life, connection without compromise. Not every bond deserves access to your sacred space. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates of discernment. You protect your energy to protect your love. Surround yourself with couples, friends, and communities that normalize growth. The environment around you silently dictates what you believe is possible. Financial life, conscious abundance. Money too carries spiritual energy. How you earn and share it reflects how you value yourself. Financial stress can fracture love. Transparency heals it. Turn money conversations into collaborations, not conflicts. Replace mine and yours with ours and ours. That language shift alone opens energetic flow. Career, purpose as partnership. 2 conscious people do not compete, they co-create. Your partner's success is not a threat to yours, it is an expansion of your shared field. Ask, how can we fuel each other's purpose? Celebrate victories, hold space for failures, remind each other of vision. Love thrives when aligned with mission. Quality of life, joy as a daily discipline. Joy is not indulgence, it's nourishment. Dance together, laugh together, break routine. In laughter, the soul remembers its lightness. Schedule joy like appointments. Guard playtime as fiercely as productivity. Happiness maintained becomes devotion in motion. Life experience, meaning through growth. Every challenge becomes meaningful when framed as evolution. Ask not, why is this happening to us, but what is this teaching us? Because in the grand story, love is the classroom, and your soul is both student and teacher. When you practice conscious love across all 12 dimensions, life becomes coherent. Your health supports your emotions support your clarity supports your integrity, and your integrity supports love, endlessly looping, endlessly expanding. This is the integration, the return of the cosmic into the concrete, because enlightenment that cannot love in daily life is only half awake. Consciousness must breathe through conversation, conflict, cooking, creation. So breathe. Let your relationships become your meditation mat. Let every word spoken in love become a mantra of awakening. Because sacred living is not somewhere else. It's right here, between 2 hearts trying to understand each other.
And so we arrive at the quiet after the storm, the echoes of ancient truths mingling with the pulse of our modern hearts. We began with a question: why do modern relationships fail?
and we end with a deeper revelation, they fail to the degree that we forget love is a sacred work. Love was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be evolutionary. It is the mirror in which we learn who we are, the fire that burns away the masks we outgrow, the river that carries us back to truth. Modern love falters not because people lack desire, but because we lack devotion, not to another, but to the discipline of consciousness itself. We want romance without reflection, pleasure without presence, connection without courage. But every great love requires all three: reflection, presence, courage. So here's the challenge and the invitation. Before you ask, is this the right person? Ask, am I showing up as my right self? Before you wonder, will this last? Ask, am I growing? Because the health of any relationship mirrors the health of the awareness within it. You are not here to chase love. You are here to become it, to embody such clarity, compassion, and strength that your very presence becomes a love story unfolding. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing in a vast field beneath the stars. Each star represents a person you've loved, lost, hurt, or healed. Each one taught you something about fear, forgiveness, faith. Together, they form the constellation of your becoming. That is the map of your soul's education. You see, every relationship, even the broken ones, was part of your training in consciousness. They shaped your emotional muscles, taught you how to speak truth, how to forgive, how to stay open when it hurts. Without them, you would not be here, ready to create a love built on awareness, not addiction. So do not regret your past. Honor it. Integrate it. Thank every heartbreak for sharpening your discernment. Thank every ending for awakening your beginning. And then, return to the present moment, where conscious love begins again, right here, right now.
What does conscious love look like in motion? It looks like two humans meeting their shadows with gentleness. It looks like apology spoken before pride. It looks like silence held as sacred, not awkward. It looks like boundaries honored, not feared. It looks like truth spoken even when it trembles. To love consciously is to build something eternal in the midst of the temporary. It's to remember that love is not found, it's forged. And the forge is daily life, morning coffee, messy kitchens, shared ambitions, silent prayers. Spirituality expressed through simple presence. When two people choose to awaken together, their union becomes a temple. Arguments turn to rituals of awareness. Intimacy becomes communion, and every kiss carries the vibration of evolution. True change begins within. If you want conscious love, you must live consciously. In your health, your thoughts, your work, your words. Because your vibration is your invitation. Here is your practice, simple but profound. 1. Daily stillness. Sit in silence for 5 minutes and feel your own heart. 2. Radical honesty. Say what you mean what you say. 3. Intentional gratitude. Speak appreciation aloud to those you love. 4. Devotional growth. Read, reflect, evolve, together or alone. 5. Sacred repair. When rupture happens, return to connection quickly. Do these not as tasks, but as acts of reverence, because consciousness is not built in bursts, it's cultivated in rhythm. And one day,
When you look back on your life, you'll realize that love was never about finding someone to walk beside you. It was about learning how to walk as love itself, a living frequency of awareness, devotion, and grace. So let us redefine success in love. It is not longevity alone. It is growth. It is awakening. It is the courage to keep evolving together, even as you change individually. You are the author of your love story. The question is not, will love find me? But, am I living in a way that invites conscious love to stay? Every word you speak, every boundary you hold, every moment you listen is a brushstroke in the masterpiece of your relationship. Paint deliberately. Paint awake. Because when love is lived consciously, it ceases to be just personal. It becomes planetary. The frequency you embody ripples through your children, your community, your world. The healing of one heart becomes the healing of the collective. Remember, modern relationships fail when we forget that love is a practice of consciousness. They thrive when we remember that consciousness is love. And in that remembering, humanity itself evolves. So go, build relationships that awaken you. Be the partner who listens with your soul, forgives with your heart, and grows with intention. Let love be the way you lead, the way you heal, the way you rise. And if this stirred something within you, carry it, reflect on it, live it. Subscribe and return often. Every word here is designed to awaken the clarity and power already within you. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your next chapter.